viewer, we welcome you here to the edition of this program, The Black Woman. My name is Salimon Muminat. With me here, and
Owoyele Owolemi Abraham.
you're welcome.
Thank you.
Léopold Senghor is the greatest of the Francophone African poets. He was born in Senegal in 1906 and schooled both in Dakar and in Paris, France. He was the first West African to graduate from the Sorbonne, a part of the University of Paris, founded in 1253, that contains the faculties of science and literature, and teach in French University. He is acclaimed as the father of negritude from Negro, a philosophy that affirms the black identity and taught the black man's values as something to celebrate and be proud of. His poetry shows in its abundance. Léopold Senghor was a Catholic who planned to become a priest, but later became a statesman. He fought with the French in the Second World War and became a prisoner of war in the then Nazi Germany. He became the deputy of Senegal in the French Constituent Assembly, president of the Council of the Republic, and counseling minister at the office of the president of the French Community. In 1960, he became the president of the Federal Republic of Mali, and later in the same year, the president of an independent Republic of Senegal. He was president of Senegal until 1980. Now, let's listen to this wonderful poem, Black Woman.
Naked woman, black woman, clothed with your color which is life, with your form which is beauty. In your shadow I have grown up. The gentleness of your hands was laid over my eyes. And now I hop on the sun-baked path, at the heart of summer, at the heart of noon, I come upon you, my promised land. And your beauty strikes me to the heart like the flash of an eagle. Naked woman, dark woman, firm flesh dry fruit, somber raptures of black wine, mouth making lyrical my mouth, savannah stretching to the clear horizons, savannah shuddering beneath the east wind's eager caresses, curved tom-tom, taut tom-tom, muttering under the conqueror's fingers. Your solemn contralto voice is a spiritual song to my beloved. Naked woman, dark woman, all that no breath ruffles, calm oil on the athlete's flanks, on the flanks of the princes of Mali. Gazelle limbed in the paradise, pearls are the stars on the night of your skin. The light of the mind, the glinting of red gold against your watered skin. Under the shadow of your hair, my care is lightened by the neighboring suns of your eyes. Naked woman, black woman, I sing your beauty that passes, the form that I fix in the eternal, before jealous fate turn you into ashes to feed the roots of life.
You're welcome. My dear guest, what can you say about the poem? Is there any appreciation for the poem?
The title of the poem symbolizes the continent of Africa and the rich color of black beauty. Using the line 1 of the poem to rule the idea of black woman as a subject of his experience in society, the poet Léopold Sédar uses black woman as an embodiment of country that bear into the life through never visits, though he never visits the country. Praising the old race of Africa with an epithet of black, it is revealed in line 3 that the poet grows in Africa by experience, not by actual acts, just like his friend David Dippo, who is in exile while writing his own poem about Africa. The care of woman can be seen in line 3 thus. The great gentleness of your hands was laid over my eyes. In line 4 of this poem, the time of season Africa is represented as when the sun reaches the peak during the summer. African continents show clearly in the poet's attitude. He reveals that Africa is his promised land. The beauty of Africa is compared to that of the eagle's flash. Since Léopold uses his fleeting metaphor, the second standard still continued the poet's use of metaphor of dark woman. Ripe fruits, black wine, which are all sources of enjoyment in African soil, and the poet feels the nature riches of them in his mouth. Vegetation like savanna can be seen in the poet's description from the east winds. The beating of tom-tom are the special types of drum beating with which the conquerors serves as the drummer, with song of the African voice, which bring the tone of scare and seriousness among the African people. The poet will continue with his metaphor of blackness, the rich mineral resources that Africa is full can be seen in standard 2, since the poet is from Senegal in Africa, but colonizes by the French. This made him to relate his ideas to Prince of Africa. African continent represents the paradise in line 13, which the Africa beauty serves as the joy during the night. In line 14 and 15 of the poem, the metaphor of both African culture and the color skin of African women are used as a direct comparison. The last stanza conveys the continuous figure of African culture in which the poet ought to have seen since he is in exile, but praised his homeland from here. African culture is primitive and pure before the advent of colonization set in and destabilized the African way. These are what analysis entails.
Thank you. Mr. Abraham, what can you say about this poem? As you can hear Mrs. Ituno has said, what is your view about this poem, The Black Woman?
I would like to talk about the thematic analysis of the poem. The poem encompasses many themes, which the poet Leopold Sedar Senghor. The themes of the poems were the beauty of African culture, the beauty of African culture, historical perspective of African society. The African is home of minerals resources. In the poem, the first one, the beauty of African culture, the blackness of the negritude line or race can be seen in the poem. Start from the first line of the poem to the last line, and then we can see in the poem that African culture is represented with a fine black woman who is presented as innocent and primitive. The care of these unaffected cultures of pureness, quite satisfied in the eye of the poet, using his appreciating simile in the first line of the poem. Thus, and your beauty shakes me to the heart, like the flash of an angel. Line 9 and line 10 of the poem also represent the African culture, norms and activities. And the use of tom-tom stand for sweetness in linking something. But here in the poem, it means the sound of a beauty drum, which give rhythm to the tone of her pain and concern, talking about the beauty of Africa song in the last line of the second stanza. Since metaphor represents a direct label or comparison of an object, person, or thing, a metaphor, gazelle, star, and glittering of red gold are all symbols of beauty to African culture. By singing how African culture and the continent is important, the form of African continent will remain entirely in blackness and shine. Now, number 2, historical situation of African society. Historical situation in the poem. Even the poet talk about the background of his birth in line 3, as he grown up in the African society, and see Africa as his promised land, which he has not discovered before till he heard about the richness of Savannah region. African culture represented primitive and archaic norm, which also bring it to us the color of African as black, and one of the countries colonized by the French in the northern part, measuring in line 12, clearly give us the historical aspect of colonialization in Africa. The suffering of Africa under the dim sun represents the dwell and the plight so long in the past, that present day Africa and our problems receive no attention. This historical part starts from the standard 3, to the last one.
Let's go to the other studio and see what they have for us. Over to you.
The literary appreciations are: 1. Tone. The poem carries the tone of appreciation and praising of African culture and beauty. 2. Coursera. There is a pause in every line of the poem, which makes the poem to be lyrical and understandable. 3. Mood. The mood of the poet is that of pity and sympathy for African. 4. Symbolism. The title of the poem, Black Woman, in quotes, symbolizes African culture, while the black, in quotes, symbolizes Africa. 5. Simile. The poet compares the beauty of Africa to that of the flash of eagle, who represents uniqueness. 6. Metaphor. The poet directs his ideas to many objects of values in appreciating Africans' beauty, such as women, sun, ripe fruit, savannah, tom-tom, spiritual song, stars, red gold, etc. All these can be seen in a total of 18 lines. 7. Form and structure. The poem has 4 stanzas. In all second line of each stanza has a continuity. Though the poem lacks the proper rhyme scheme, which can also be called free verse, except for the reception of naked woman and alliteration of the letter S, as in savannah stretching or spiritual song. The last, imagery. The imagery of the sun, beauty, Mali, conqueror's fingers, lyrical mouth, dark woman, all represent the image of sight, feeling, and the taste of Africa.
Welcome back. This is how far you can go about this program. I believe you've learned one or two things. Thanks to my co-presenter Oyatobo Itunu and Oyele Abraham. See you next time. I remain your host, Salimon Mimi.